What's up, everybody? It's your boy Meme here. I look like I'm crying. My eye is just watered. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I woke up this morning at 8, and then I took a shower, and then my parents got home from like whatever they were doing. They were doing something to do with the car, um, and my mom was like, "Oh, I can drive you to your doctor's appointment today." I was like, "Oh yeah, that's so nice of you," because like by nature of the doc, like I wear a bunch of clothes that are difficult to take off. Like I wear those silly skinny jeans, and I wear my boots, right? And that's all very difficult to take off at the doctor. So whenever I am going to the doctor or I'm going somewhere where I have to take off my clothes, um, like say like when I was donating blood plasma, for example, they always had to measure my height, and so I couldn't wear my boots, and so the shoes I would wear would be these Jordan 1 mids that I own. I bought these in Las Vegas in 2023. I think the first time I got COVID, I think. Um, we were visiting family, and uh, yeah, they're good shoes, and I wore them throughout high school. Once I graduated high school, I got my boots, and then that's what I've been wearing since then. But um, you know, yeah, the shoes are nice. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not big into like sneakers, right? But so I had to wear those, and because it was raining outside, like it's a lot more difficult to walk out in the rain in like Jordans than it is to do it with boots. I got to my appointment, and it's because of this chest pain that I have going on. And so I got an ECG done, and they drew my blood for a blood test, and they also did this crazy thing where I blow into a bag and then I drink this like sour water, and then they wait 15 minutes and then I blow into a bag again, and that sees if I have a stomach infection. And then I did. Oh, that's pretty much it, I guess. I thought I keep thinking I did a fourth thing, but I never I didn't. Um, and so the ECG came back okay, which meant I didn't have to go to the emergency room. But the blood work is still going on, and the stomach work is still going on. So I'm probably gonna get an email and a call tomorrow, maybe not on Saturday, but maybe on Monday, regarding information with that. And then I'm also on Monday going to be making an appointment with the cardiologist. Um, Assuming the blood work doesn't make it obvious, which it might not. So yeah, then I'm gonna go to the cardiologist, and then we'll see what he says. In the meantime, I've stopped the Ritalin. I didn't consume it at all yesterday because it does tend to happen a little more when I'm on the Ritalin, so that probably has something to do with it because it is a stimulant. But it's weird because I consume a lot of caffeine, and um, I don't like I don't know, like I feel like if it were something like with stimulants interacting with my heart in a weird way, the copious amounts of caffeine I regularly consume, I would have expected that to have changed something. Um, but anyway, yeah. So I got home. I had a protein shake with this new protein powder, which is kind of gross. I bought some yesterday morning, um, and my old protein powder was this NutriCost protein powder, but I ended up getting this Muscle Milk protein powder. The reason I got a different protein powder was because the NutriCost increased in price by like $20. I was like, what? Like, and I looked at the price chart, right, for the NutriCost, and it like shot way up like soon after I bought it. I bought it for like $50, and they were selling it for like $70. And so I ended up getting this Muscle Milk protein powder, which was sort of similar and was cheaper than the the NutriCost, right? So I got it, and it's not very good. It's pretty gross. Maybe I'm used to like the old protein powder. It's not like disgusting. Like it doesn't taste bad. It's just like it's like it just doesn't taste very good, which sucks. But what can you do? And I can deal with it. It's not really meant to be super tasty, right? It's just the last one tasted a lot more like chocolate milk, and this one doesn't. Maybe it has less sucralose or something, or aspartame or whatever. Um, yeah, I totally forgot to record my video yesterday. Here's what happened. Okay, I you know had the opportunity to record my video in the morning. I didn't. I was like, I'll record it. I'll record it later. I'll record it when I get home from work, right? And then I got home from work, and then I started doing some like NixOS work on my computer, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it once I'm done with this NixOS work. And then I was done with the NixOS work, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it after I brush my teeth, right? And then I didn't do it at all. I totally forgot by then, which really sucks. You know, I really pride myself on my consistency in many things, but one of which is, you know, the consistency at which I upload these videos. So it always sucks when I miss a day. I tend to miss one once every few months, maybe once every 4 months, and it always sucks. So, you know, I apologize. Nothing really went on yesterday. I had some, God, I honestly barely recall. No, I remember. I woke up at like 5:20, and then I went on the treadmill. And then once I was done with the treadmill, I decided to lubricate the treadmill, and that was a really silly experience. I lubricated the treadmill, but I did something stupid with the bolts. I didn't untighten them consistently on both sides, and so I turned the treadmill back on, and the belt like started moving to the right and started bunching up on the side, and I was like, oh god. So I unplugged I turned off the treadmill, right? I unplugged the safety key so that it would stop quicker. Then I just pressed the stop button, and I was like, okay, how am I going to fix this? So I loosened it a bunch on both sides, and then I manually moved the belt back, and then I tried to move the bolt to a similar resistance, and then I turned it back on. And I turned it back on, it started slowly moving over, so I fixed the bolt, so then it stopped moving over, and then I would just like slowly move it back and forth, and then it ended up working. Centered, you know. But that took like half an hour. It was a whole thing. It was really terrible. And honestly, I'm a little spooked for when I go on the treadmill tomorrow. When I was done with it, I walked on the treadmill for a little bit, and it seemed to work fine. But it's still like a little spooky because it's like, you know, I messed with it so much yesterday. But I walked on it for like 5 minutes once I was done with it, and it seemed to be centered. So I'm not too worried, but still. And then, yeah, so I came upstairs. I showered, and then I called my buddy, who I said I was gonna call, and I emptied the dishwasher. I had, what did I eat? I ate something. Spam fried rice, and that was pretty good. And then I had some, that's my dad's show in the background. And then I had some avocado with some crackers. Like I turned the avocado, I like made avocado stuff, and then I dipped like saltine crackers into it, and that was pretty good. I also had a banana. And then at work was really normal. Nothing really happened, but I got a really big paycheck. I don't know why. It was like very large. I didn't like, I don't really know what happened, but you know, I'm not complaining. And I, instead of a sandwich at work, I had a wrap. I've been having the same sandwich at work for a few years, and you know, I'm super content with it. I like the sandwich, but I decided to have a wrap this time because they were working on a wrap platter at work when I had came in, and they all looked really tasty, and I was like, man, like I could use a spinach wrap right now. And it's just like a green tortilla pretty much, but yeah, it was really good. And I can fit a little more food, you know. A wrap is like, people ask me, oh, can I get a large wrap? And I'm like, well, all the wraps are one size because our sandwiches come in like 6 inches or a foot long, right? They're like, oh, well, how large is a wrap? And I'd be like, well, it's equivalent to an 8-inch sandwich. And they're like, oh, okay. And so you get a little more food if you make a wrap, which is pretty cool. But it's not that much healthier than the bread. It's only like a little healthier. So that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, I'm watching this new PewDiePie video where it's called I Fixed YouTube space exclamation point. Yeah, I got home, I did some NixOS work. Now I have OpenWebUI working. There is a really terrible thing happening where, like right now I have it set up to where my website, it runs on this server right here, but if this server is down, it fails over to my VPS, so then it serves the website from there. And that works for both websites I host. However, that wasn't working for OpenWebUI. Like I have a Postgres instance running on a VPS, and then I have the OpenWebUI instance running on this server, and the OpenWebUI instance running on the VPS, both pointing to that same Postgres server, right? And then on Nginx, I have it to where, you know, if this server's down, it fails over to the OpenWebUI instance running on the VPS, right? And so the problem was that this laptop currently, the problem is that this laptop currently doesn't have a network switch plugged into it. And so, like, it's not connected to a router. It's connected to like this really bad Ethernet or power interface, which is slow but consistent. So that's why I use it. Like when I used Wi-Fi, it was always really bad. Like, well, it would be really good sometimes, and then it would be really horrible sometimes. And I would much rather have a slow but consistent connection than a one that's fast sometimes and just doesn't work other times, right? And so, this has like what 50 megabits download, and so it really sucked, especially for something like streaming a large language model output, right? So I was like, oh, I have failover. I can just turn off the Docker container on this VPS. So I did, and it didn't on this server. I mean, so I did turn it off on the server, and it didn't work. And I was like, that's weird. So the thing I discovered was that it wasn't routing properly on the VPS from the from Nginx to the OpenWebUI instance. It was really difficult trying to get it to. It was because OpenWebUI and Nginx weren't part of the same like Docker network. They couldn't communicate with each other, and I thought if I could, because Docker like sort of punches holes through the firewall, I thought I could. Have Nginx point at the local port that OpenWebUI is exposed to, but that didn't work, and I don't know why it didn't work, even though I had it pointing to the local port that was exposed by Docker, and so I just had it be part of the same Docker network. It's a small security risk because now Nginx has direct access to the Postgres container. Which kind of sucks. I wish Postgres was kind of, I wish the only things that had access to Postgres were things that like were, needed it, right? But what can you do? But oh, you may have just heard a desktop audio sound. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, but I also had some beans and rice just now.